All right, Josh, we there.
All right. Hey, team. Welcome back to another episode here. Best half hour of your week, the half hour power, where Dave and I are here to talk about the top 30 power metal albums of all time.
Yep. And this week was a little bit different because I think we were both started this off with a bit of apprehension.
Look, it was the first song we listened to, which was a little bit of a problem. So hey, look, hopefully you can read the screen, but just for those listening out there, we're talking about the band Nightwish, and the album is Wishmaster. And this is the first time I've dabbled at all with Nightwish. So this
were you familiar with them?
For me.
Were you familiar with them in name?
I knew the name, and I remember hearing back in the day on MTV or something, whenever the singer for the band left, Tara something, whatever her last name is. Yeah, I remember hearing her leave the band and thinking like, oh, okay. Like, I've never listened to them, and I would tell you, like, the first song we listened to
Wishmaster,
on this album, was the song Wishmaster. And dude, don't listen to that song first, okay? If any of you out here are listening to this review and you're like, hey, I want to get in and try this album, don't start with that song. Because I feel like that is for like advanced Nightwish fans. Because instantly, the intro is cool, but then when you get into that first verse, the operatic vocals totally do not go with like what's going on in the verse for me. And even still, after listening to this album for the last week and a half or whatever, and probably hearing this album, I don't know, 6 or 7 times, that's a tough listen for that opening verse for me.
Is it?
So it is for me. It is for me. Look, that song is going to make my top 6 songs on the album, but newsflash, it's number 6. Okay, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself there, but
Josh, you want to know something?
Yeah.
It is also my number 6.
Hey, we got something in tune here.
But
look, we'll get back to that. But that was, I think, the thing that was the hardest part for me was hearing that first and being like, oh, like what is this? Because power metal, it's a lot about the vocals, as much as anything else. And it's not that the vocals are bad. And listen,
not at all.
There's a lot of songs that are really fucking good with the vocals, but it was just it was a shock. It was a shock to the system for me.
Yeah, I think just, the bands that we've listened to on this list, if you want to go back in the archives and watch those, I think the sounds of the band were, even though we hadn't heard those albums, we were, the sounds were generally familiar to us. And Nightwish definitely brings a different vibe to the table. Even though they are definitely power metal, it's more of the theatric, operatic.
Yeah. And I would say musically, they're better than a lot of other bands that we've listened to on this list already. They're more interesting than Sonata Arctica. They're more interesting to me than Angra. And there was another record that I'm losing it now, but I mean it's one of the probably three musically. It's probably one of the 3 best albums we've had so far.
Oh yeah, definitely more interesting than Halloween's debut record.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of.
I would say the only one that comes close musically would be the Master Plan record.
Yeah, Ed Guy has some really good riffs on it as well.
But overall,
put those in the same.
But overall musicianship, I'd say this is up there.
And that's what I had to kind of change, like, because I'm listening to the album and I'm struggling a little bit vocally because I keep focusing on the operatic part of it, and I finally kind of had to think like, dude, this music is really good. Like, I'm listening to the riffs, I'm listening to the songs, and I'm like, this is some top flight shit. And so I started focusing more on the music and listening to the riffs, and then naturally, I think it just pulled me in a little bit more. and then the vocals coming in on top of it after listening to the songs a few times, I think I just kind of got used to it. It was, I don't know, I probably referenced this too much, but I always go back to the first couple times I listened to Toxicity, the album, where, like, you know, Chop Suey was obviously the popular song. You heard it was great, but then you get in here and you're like, Prison Song, what is this shit? And then Jet Pilot and Needles, right? And you're like, dude, this is terrible music. Like, this vocals are crap. And so I think it was like, I listened to the album a few times. I think that was enough to get me used to the vocals and then allow me to actually receive kind of what was going on. And once that happened, the album, I mean, took off for me.
Yeah. So, Josh, on that note, where are you coming in with your score? Or maybe you should explain for those that may be tuning in for the first time how we rate this, because you know, it's a little unique.
Yeah, so you know, we decided a little while back that we had to create our own proprietary rating system for the things that we review on the show here, and we do like to refer to things as shit mostly. And so we did assign a rating system here called the Shitometer. The name of the game is you want the lowest score possible. You want to be a 0, okay? Anything from 0 to 49 is varying levels of, we would certainly recommend that for you. Anything 50 to 100 is varying levels of absolute terrible diarrhea shit. And we would not recommend that, depending on the situation.
Yes.
So coming into this record, look, there are still some songs. Dave, this is going to surprise you. On my list of 6 songs, I do not have any ballads this week. And you know I love me a power metal ballad, okay?
Yeah.
But the ballads are weak. Their ballads are weak on this album. And so while I'm giving the album a good score, I can't give it like a great score. I am coming in at a 39.
Okay. I think I did enjoy the record a bit more than you did, given your score. I was very hesitant when we kind of, you know, did our little ritual preview of the record. We listened to that one song together, and I was like, ooh, I don't know. We listened to Wishmaster, and I turned around a lot, and I found myself just putting this record on, even after I had already had my songs kind of handpicked. I was just listening to this thing for fun. I'm coming in with a very, very solid 31 on this.
It's a good score.
Yeah. You know, I couldn't really give it any better than that. But I thoroughly enjoyed this record. So,
well, Dave, while you're calculating that, let me go back and give a little bit of knowledge here on the band and talk about the album a little bit, and then you can kind of give us the final score there. So
do it.
Nightwish, formed in 1996, is a Finnish. They're listed as a Finnish symphonic metal band from Kite. Nightwish is the third best-selling musical act in Finland and are the most successful Finnish band worldwide with album sales over 10 million. That's pretty robust.
Dude, for a band that I only know about in passing, and we've talked about this before, and I don't mean to derail you, but power metal is just has not been embraced by America in general, like the general public. And it's just crazy.
This band, I mean, they have 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify. That's more than any other band that's probably more combined than any other band we've talked about so far.
Yeah, and like, you know, they've probably built that following largely on touring, probably nearly exclusively in Europe.
Yeah, for sure. So they sold over 10 million records. So they were the 11th members inducted into the Finnish Music Hall of Fame. They've released 9 studio albums, including their latest release, Human Nature, which was released in 2020. Wishmaster, released in 2000, is the band's third album. The album peaked at number 1 on the Finnish charts and sold more than 80,000 copies in Finland alone. In 2019, Metal Hammer ranked it as the 18th best power metal album of all time. The album does feature one single, Deep Silent Complete.
Okay.
What was our overall score? Where does that fit in with our other albums?
So, hold on one second. Of course, you asked me this when I'm. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I was on the wrong. I was on the wrong thing here. Power metal. Okay. Josh, you said you were at a 39.
Yeah.
And I was at a 31. Okay. That brings us to a 35 average. That is right there at a B tier score. So this puts it actually the second lowest rated album on our list, believe it or
Only
not.
behind Master Plan?
Yes. No, second. When I say lowest, I meant worst. Sorry.
Man, we've been enjoying this list then. So it's
yeah.
only just ahead of Halloween then.
Yeah, correct. So, so this basically we thought Angra's Holy Land. Funny enough, you gave Holy Land a 38. I also gave Holy Land a 31. So my score is identical with Holy Land, but you came in just under that record for Wishmaster. So
I think that's fair. I think that's fair for Angra for that one.
But look, we're getting into the nitty gritty. I think ultimately it's a B tier album. We've had 4. We've been pretty blessed or whatever you want to call it. Of the 6 we've reviewed so far, we've had 4 B tier scores, an A tier, and 1 C tier. So I mean, we've been pretty happy so far.
Yeah, this list is doing better than our top 50 metal albums list so far in terms of our enjoyment. If you guys are interested in hearing that, that's part of our Metalheads journey as part of our same channel that you're on right here. So you can go back a couple of weeks there and you can see the last set of 5 records we did on the top 50 Metalheads or top 50 metal albums of all time.
Yeah.
There's a couple of stinkers in there, namely Judas Priest, Sad Wings of Destiny. Yikes.
Yeah. And then,
Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, look, people love that album, though. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Josh, we already alluded to this already, but go ahead and talk to me about Wishmaster, your number 6 song, because it's also my number 6.
So look, the only thing that saves this track for me, honestly, is the music. I think the music, the riff is really good on this track. The intro is really good with the chanting, the
Master,
the real symphony,
apprentice.
Yeah, like that part of it's really, really good.
Dude, I love the verse.
That first verse.
Yeah.
Man, it's just I don't know, man. It's
like
it's
the
too different.
Like the haunting, like I'm gonna butcher it. I'm not even gonna remotely attempt. Yeah, dude, I love that. I eventually, like, it won me over. I was all in.
I've tried. I mean, look, I've listened to that song, I don't know, 10, 12 times easily. And I can get past it into the chorus and onto the rest of the song. But every time I get to that one verse, I'm just like, the intro is so strong. And then it's just like, it just loses all the steam when it gets to that one moment for me.
Okay, let's talk about
the music is a savior.
I was gonna say, let's talk about the good stuff with the song. Little, like, rhythm guitar work is excellent. Drumming, great guitar solo. I think it's a very, very good title track at the end of the day. I like it. I like it a lot.
Look, it's on my list, so there's good moments in it, but if we'd just done our standard 5 songs, I would have been happy to leave it off the list.
Okay.
But I think the next 5 songs are all killers.
Okay, so my number 5, which probably won't be on your list, just because we said that. My number 5 is Wanderlust.
Dave. My number 5 is also Wanderlust.
No, it's not.
Let's go.
Dude. Okay.
Let's go.
So, a lot of guitar and keyboard, like, interplay. Really good.
I mean, dude, the intro on that is so fucking badass with the keyboard. And then you get that real chuggy bridge, which is cool too. You don't get a ton of chug always in power metal.
And again, really good chorus. Dude, I like Tarja's vocals. Now, I did dip my my toes. I was gonna say my small toes. They're not really small, but I did dip my toes a bit into Floor Jansen, the latest vocalist. I did listen to one of her songs. She's really good. I'm not gonna get into the debate on who's better, but I'm
sounded good.
Yeah, it did. It was very good. Okay. And
the upcoming, because we have another Nightwish album on this list coming up. Is this also with Tara?
I believe it is. Yes.
Okay.
Because is it Oceanborn?
I think so. I think it's the album before this.
Yeah, it's their second album. So yeah, it's with Tarja.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this song has fallen the most for me. I had this song as high as my number one song.
Wow.
On the first couple of listens, and then it's just kind of subsequently kind of kept coming down the list, but super good song. I've enjoyed it. Well, let's see if we keep this streak going here.
There's no shot.
My number four song is Crownless.
Let's see. Josh, that is my number 2 song.
Oh man, I was hoping we were going to keep it going. Dude, talking about another just solid keyboard intro. Dude, the keyboard player in this band fucking owns, bro. Because not only do you get a solid intro, but you get a sweet-ass keyboard solo right in the middle of this song.
Yeah.
And I love the drum beat on this song, like right when it comes out of the intro, and it's just that real driving, that, I can never explain it the right way, but just that real driving snare beat that I really like.
I love the keyboard solo on this track, which I don't think we get a lot of keyboard solos specifically. You know why this track
they feature this guy a lot.
You know why this track rated so highly for me? And I thought maybe it would your recent newfound love for Dream Theater would kick in. This is a very Dream Theater-ish track for me. It's not it doesn't it just kind of has a lot of stuff that reminds me of like an Images and Words era Dream Theater song.
Yeah, I can see that.
And
I love the song. Like I said, dude, I think these 5 songs are killers, and I think a lot of these are interchangeable. You could put them in different spots. But
oh yeah, dude, I moved my list a lot, honestly.
So,
my number 1 changed like 4 times, I think. I don't know. But I love the song. It's my number 2 song. I think, again, it's a more faster pace, which I think Nightwish does really well. I'm curious to venture into their other records to see if their style is consistent or if this is unique to this record. I'm just not, I don't know enough about them to know, but I love the song. What's your number 4? My number 4 is She Is My Sin.
Oh, Dave, that's my number 2.
Is it really?
Yes.
The opening track on this record, super good.
Great chorus.
Very, very good. Very good melody in the chorus as well. Solo's excellent. Has some harmony in there. Yeah, dude. I love this song. It's a very good song. I could have moved this higher on the list if I wanted to. I just, this is kind of where it landed.
Yeah, there's a cool variation that they do of the main riff during the bridge. So they're not like using a ton of different riffs throughout the song, but it's a really cool variation. And then also during that bridge, you get, I think it's a really good use of the operatic style that they feature in the band.
Yeah.
So this is the song that if somebody said, "Hey, I want to get into Nightwish," I would probably show them this song first.
Yeah, actually, I would probably give them this album based on my zero knowledge of Nightwish. I would give them this record, but I would definitely have them just start from the beginning because I think the first 4 tracks, give or take, really help you. It eases you into the band, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, let's see if our number 3s are the same here.
All right. Let me pull it up.
My third song is Come Cover Me.
Josh, that's my number 1.
It's a good song.
It's really good. I love this song.
It's got a good musical melody right off the top, like what the guitar part's doing and everything. I really enjoy the musical melody there. Again, it's just like on repeat here, but great use of keyboards in the songs.
Yes.
And I just think the verses and the choruses are all like super good. But it's
I
your number
love
one song, Dave. So hit me.
Yeah, again, I love the intro. I'm not gonna do it, but there's the bridge on this song I really, really enjoy. And it's short, but it's really good. Yeah, I mean, Tarja's vocals are excellent. Guitar work is superb. This song isn't like breaking the mold or anything, but man, I just think all of the pieces like this, you mentioned that She Is My Sin is something that, like, you'd show somebody who's new to Nightwish. Like, I would show them Come Cover Me. I just think it kind of encapsulates all of the things I have enjoyed about Nightwish into one song. So,
yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah. So far we have not had a track that wasn't on the other person's.
Yeah, let's see if it stays here. I'm curious to see what your number 3 is.
Phantasmic.
Oh, dude, we did it. We did it. That's my number 1.
Okay, good.
That's my number 1. We matched our entire list, bro. How crazy is that?
What was your? Did you have any honorable mentions?
No.
Okay, I had one. It was
like I said, I could have left 6. I could have left Wishmaster off, and this top 5 would have just been fucking crushing. What was your honorable mention?
Bear Grace Misery.
Yeah, that song's okay. Not good enough for me to make the list, but it's not a bad song.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough. It was my 7. If we had to have 7, I had one ready to go. But Phantasmic, it's the longest song on the record, which I tend to gravitate towards because they tend to be good. Now this was
I thought for sure this would have been your first. I thought for sure this would have been your first track.
So this was my number 1. Okay, but. I think I just found myself constantly repeatedly going back to Come Cover Me. And I just kind of moved it around. But this was my number 1 at one point. I mean, dude, it has everything. It's how long is this song? I want to say it's close to 10 minutes, or maybe I'm exaggerating a bit. No, 8 minutes.
I think it's like a little over 8 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's got everything. It's got everything you could want. It's almost a pseudo progressive metal song in that sense. And bruh, you get some real devastating flute work in the bridge of this song. Yeah, dude. Look. For those that have stayed for the 20 minutes that we've been talking, we have a buddy of ours who's part of our Metalheads journey. His name is Adrian. And it's like if he was listening to us describe this track, he'd be like, well, this is why I don't like power metal. Because he's not a big power metal guy.
A flute player? I don't want to hear a flautist while I'm trying to listen to my metal.
But, man, this is so well done. Adrian, if you're listening, and if you ever watched this back at any point in your life, you would hate this record.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly this song.
Yeah, but no, in reality, this song is one of the best songs on the record by far, and it's stellar all the way around. Josh, what this was your number 1? Why did you decide it was your number 1?
Yeah, dude. I mean, again, it's an epic song. I think this is the best guitar song on the album for sure.
Oh, you're probably right.
And the vocals. I think this is also one of the best tracks where the vocals match well with everything that's going on, and it's got this really good, it's like a real quiet bridge. It has a nice little lead to it. It's not like a blistering solo or anything like that. It's just this really clean, single line kind of solo. But dude, it's done really well. And it just it runs right into that flute. And look, it's very easy. It's, to your point, going back to when you mentioned images and words earlier, it can be hokey to introduce a saxophone, right, to a song, or a flute. But it's done very well, and you can kind of anticipate some of these weird things in power metal, but he goes to that great solo, and then the flute comes in, and it just kind of keeps the main melody of the song on the do 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 do, you know, whatever it is, and it's just so good. I every time I hear the flute come on, I'm never like,
No, and I was worried that this last song was going to be just a little too overindulgent, and I'm sure some people would see it that way. But man, I think they pull out all the musical stops here, and they continue to impress throughout the tracks here, and I like it. I
feel like at the end of the song, it's got a little Metallica vibe to it.
Yeah.
The little outro riff that they have there, it's something off of Justice, is what it sounds like.
I overall, again, for not knowing really any meaningful thing about Nightwish other than hearing about them in passing, I am super intrigued. We thankfully we'll have another album on this list, Oceanborn, that we're gonna listen to. But man, I want to hear the recent record that they just dropped last year and other records as well. So I'm very happy with this album.
Yeah, so it's another. I mean, look, we've been super lucky on this list so far to not really even have anything too bad. So let's hope that the streak continues. We do have something interesting coming up here on the next episode. This is a band that I had no idea was considered power metal. This is going to be Children of Bodom. Children of Bottom. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm saying that right. Bodom.
Yeah, I think I've always said Bodom, and just because it sounds less awkward. So, and it's the album Follow the Reaper.
Yeah, and not only is it Children of Bodom for the next episode, it's also Children of Bodom the episode after that. We're going back to back.
Yeah, so it was weird when I compiled this list. I'm pulling from all these different sources, and it just lined up that I guess most people, Children of Bodom, this is their 1A, 1B for these records. So I've heard of Children of Bodom. I know
Alexi Laiho is like. He's regarded as being like a very, very good guitar player,
and I know he passed away.
He passed away.
Yeah,
but I've never heard a single second of any of them. So I'm interested.
Yeah, and I guess we will get to that next time. I guess we should also mention if you're still here, Josh, you'll have to correct me on the date, but we will have a special episode of Half Hour of Power because one of the granddaddies of power metal. Blind Guardian is about to release a new record that Josh and I are actually incredibly anticipating.
The God Machine.
Yes. I believe that drops September 2nd.
So on September 2nd it drops. So on September 5th, we'll be doing a special episode of Half Hour Power where we're going to review that album. So that'll be just a few days after it drops.
So stay tuned for that. And I guess that's all we got here.
That's it.
So
yeah, we'll see you next week with some Children of Bodom. In the meantime, live long and prosper.
Take it easy, everybody.